The following podcast is part of the MindBodySpirit.fm podcast network.
Morning decisions. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Last night, you spent 2 hours deciding what to wear to the party. This morning, it'll take you 2 minutes to list it on Depop and make your money back. Just grab your phone, snap a few photos, and we'll take care of the rest. The sheer dress and platform heels you'll never wear again? There's a birthday girl searching for them right now. Your one-and-done look is about to pay for your next night out. Or at least the ride home. Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, host of the Live Like Eden podcast. What do you do when your whole life flips upside down? Are you questioning everything, lost in chaos, or yearning for life's deeper meaning? I've been there, deep in the thick of it, unraveling my own awakening mess for over 20 years. Now I'm here to help you through yours. I share no-nonsense weekly wake-ups, cutting through the ego's illusions to wake you up to your own spiritual wisdom. No mountaintop bliss needed here, just practical tools, insights, and real-life experience to save you time. Plus, a much-needed laugh when we're all losing it. Let's dive into this fresh new episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Lindsay, your host. And today I really want to talk about what this show, Live Like Eden, means. What is the meaning of Eden? And what does it mean to live like Eden? For those of you that have listened for a long time, you know that I've based this entire show on my own personal spiritual awakening and transformation that took me many, many years to get through. During my experience, I always thought that maybe one day I would speak about it or share it in order to help other people. I discovered that there was a lot of missing information about what this process of awakening or waking up can really look like. And I was disappointed in that because it felt like there's a lot of information about how wonderful life can be, but there was very little on the nuances and the difficulty and the darkness that will happen to all of us. And so I thought, one day I am going to share this. And eventually when the time came and I felt ready to sort of start sharing it, put the podcast out, start a website, I couldn't come up with a name. And at first I thought of one big shift and I thought, well, it's okay, but it's kind of vague. That could be a lot of things. And I knew deep down that wasn't it. A couple of years go by and I'm still kind of thinking about how I'm going to present this. And then out of nowhere one day, I'm going back and forth with a really good friend of mine on text. And we're talking about names and what I could possibly name this. And out of nowhere, I get this hit like Live Like Eden. And I knew immediately my whole entire body filled up with energy and I felt excitement, like when it's a big yes. And I just knew that's the name. And then I get on GoDaddy and I'm thinking, oh, it's probably taken, everybody's doing Eden. And it was available for like $5, Sign me up. But what does Live Like Eden mean? And what is the whole point of this podcast? What is the point of sharing this kind of information? And what it boils down to is that any transformation that you go through personally is bringing you toward something else, right? It's a shift from one way to a new way. And when we're discussing spirituality, which to me is the real essence of what we are, that's the deepest part of our being. And when you're going through awakening, it's taking you toward living like Eden. And what do I mean by Eden? Eden, to me, is not the physical Garden of Eden. It's not anything to do with the physical. Eden, at its highest level of consciousness, to me, means the symbol of truth, with a capital T, or the symbol of our real home in God. It's like that little reminder or memory that all of us have that we have completely forgotten about. Right? Because we're all like the Energizer bunny running around the world trying to survive. So Live Like Eden is a symbol. And it's a symbol to live your life in a way that is remembering the true essence that we are. And I like to think that there are four foundational principles or pillars of Eden. And the four principles are really simple. And I thought about this. How does waking up or transformation affect us? Well, one, it affects our body. Two, it affects the mind. Three, it affects the environment or the space that we're living in, this spatial awareness. And then lastly, the big daddy is spirit. I want to spend today's show going over these four just very briefly. And as I'm talking about it, you can relate it to your own life. Because it's one thing to talk about spirituality and use lofty language and all these things we hear out there, but it's really different when you actually feel it. It's this feeling body that takes us out of our conceptual mind or takes us out of thought, and it becomes a literal feeling process through the world. That we're moving into a place of feeling spirit, the connection to this greater intelligence that is all around us. So let's start with the body. When I started this show, the body to me is the vessel that we're living in. And in spiritual circles or the New Age or, even religion, the body in health really isn't part of it, right? It's just your religion. So you go to that for your religion or your spiritual information. But if we're living in this world and we're embodying or embracing a connection to spirit, we do it through this vessel, the body, that we're living in. There's really no other way to do it. This is what we're living in while we're here. And there's a lot of physical changes that can happen to the body when you start feeling a higher frequency of vibration. It's a very unusual feeling at first if you've never had something like that happen to you. It's alarming even. But the body is important, not in the sense that it really is anything, right, in the big picture, but while we're here and we're living here, if you want to be able to get around and feel as well as you can physically, it's important to take care of it, right? So you're taking care of your physical vessel. And you can do that in any way that works for you. There's no perfect diet. There's no perfect program. You can try all kinds of different things, and I've done a lot of different things over the years. But what living like Eden is getting in touch with the spiritual essence, the inner essence of you, to listen to what your body needs. So out of these four pillars, the number one most important one to put above all of them would be spirit, because you're handing over your control system in your mind and you're handing it over to spirit and listening to what you need. Now, your body's going to scream out to you in every which way, right? All of us have pain. We have different symptoms. We get ill. We get chronically ill. And those symptoms are just communications to listen to what my body is saying to me. Does my body need something? Is it crying out for something? Is it telling me to stop doing something? Like, maybe I shouldn't put all that dark chocolate in my mouth today. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the body is a communicator to us. And if we put spirit above all else, right? If we remember that there's something larger guiding us, then we can become very intuitive and in tune with how we treat the body and how the body feels. Now, that doesn't mean that we can control every little detail of what the body's going to do. I'm not in the camp of I'm the master of the universe and I can make myself as well and perfect in the body as possible. I don't subscribe to that. I personally think sometimes shit happens and we get dealt the worst possible scenario. We get sick out of nowhere. We say we ate everything perfectly. We did all these things just right. And now we're still dealing with a health crisis. So remember, whatever the body is dealing with is just communicating to you what it needs. And then as far as living like Eden, I like to think of the Garden of Eden as this symbolic garden, that it's this garden of just nourishment, right? And it's beautiful and it's full of life and we're growing fresh, real food. So there is an element there that I like to put into it. For those of you that have listened to some of the health shows, it's important to keep your body well. Now, you certainly don't have to. And some people are really lucky. It doesn't matter what they do to their body and they feel fine. Maybe that's the ticket. We just stop caring about the body. And then it just things go away. Maybe that's something to try on. And during awakening, the body can be affected. Not everyone will go through this. Not everybody's going to have this experience, but many people will. And I feel like if I don't share that information, then that's not preparing somebody else for what's possible. Because the body can take on different energies. The body can take on an incredible amount of frequency into the nervous system, and a whole slew of different sensations can occur. And when that happens, it's really important to keep the body fueled with proper nourishment. And that nourishment is going to have to be discovered through you and your connection to spirit. What type of nourishment is calling you? Is it fresh fruits and vegetables? Is it eating more meals? You're not getting enough fuel, especially if you get a lot of energy in the system. Sometimes you've got to ground more. You got to put more in. Then there's periods of where you don't need much at all. So it's really a trial and error. And I always say this, there's a lot of studies out there. There's the nutrition gods all over the place. Everybody's got an opinion, right? Everybody's diet is the best. And they're always telling you your diet isn't the best. I always love that one. It's like, you do you, I'll do me, and you know what? We'll be okay. But with all of that noise going on out there, it's really challenging sometimes to figure out what is best for you. And the best way to discover that is to try it. Like experiment with different things for yourself. That's the only way I've ever learned is doing different things. What makes me feel better? What types of foods help my digestive system? Does eating little small meals throughout the day help me? Or does fasting longer periods help me? What are my energy levels like? Or do I feel any different at all? These are questions to ask, and you're the only one that can discover that. You're the only one. You can have lots of chatter in your ear, lots of people telling you what to do, but your intuition and your connection to something greater is your best tool. So that's the whole point of this pillar of the body, is to listen and see what your body is needing. And then imagine it's this beautiful garden for yourself, but it's symbolic, right? You're just always bringing this energy with you. Now, the second pillar is the mind. And this one, I think, is the most challenging because the mind is all about choice. When we get out of the reactionary mind, when we get out of this responsive mechanism that we think we don't have a choice, and this is what I refer to as reactionary. People just aren't even thinking. They're just responding to everything. But when you rise above that battleground, and you see that there's kind of a split mind we're living in, right? There's the ego's version of reality, and then there's the spirit, the Eden, that's saying, hey, wake up. There's a different way to look at this. And the different way to look at it is you have a choice. We always have a choice in the way that we perceive any given situation. We may not be able to control that situation, but we can absolutely choose how we perceive it. Are we seeing it with the chatterbox and the insanity of the mind, the ego? Or are we looking at it from a lighter perspective with spirit? Because spirit's always there reminding us of where our real home is, that this is not what we think it is. So you can choose which way you want to see it. The mind is the biggest trick because it'll make or break our reality. The mind is the control mechanism. You could add all these other things that you see on wellness wheels, like your emotional state, right? Your feeling self, all the other intangible experiences that we have. But I'm going to lump them all into the mind because the mind is the one that perceives an emotion in a certain way, right? If you have something happen to you and you get very upset and you're crying and you're holding on to it for a really long time, your mind is interpreting that circumstance in a certain way. So I like to put underneath the mind are all the other things that come up, all the feelings that we have, the emotions, the memories, all of it. It's all within the mind. If the mind is really larger than the body, right? For those of you that think that the mind is creating everything, the body is simply the last level of manifestation, the level of form, then the mind really is in control of most of it. And within this mind, right, we've got the conscious mind. That's what we know, what we see on the surface, things that we remember. And then there's the unconscious mind or the subconscious, what we don't know, or we've blocked out, memories in the past, or on a deeper level that we left Eden. You know? Did God kick us out of Eden or did we leave Eden? I don't know. Who knows? It seems like, why would God kick us out of his kingdom? What for? If he had a beautiful kingdom, why would he kick us out into this nonsense out here that happens every day? So we have the layers to the mind. And really, when you think about it, how clever of the mind to give it so many different layers to uncover to get back to Eden. It doesn't want us back there. So it keeps projecting outward. And then it covers up everything in the subconscious. So not only do you have to deal with your conscious memories and all the stuff that's going on in your current realization, right? But then eventually you might have something happen where all these past memories come up and then you're dealing with that. And guess what? We're still not at Eden in there, right? Think about all the lifetimes, if you believe in reincarnation, just going around and around and around, chasing our own tail. So the mind is a powerful tool. It can either control us, like the ego can take a hold and we can be at its mercy and feel like a victim and that we have no other way to see anything. And in some way, that position is very self-centered, right? Because you're the center of your own world there. You can kind of hide in that. And you can continue to play this, oh, poor me. It just keeps happening to me. And maybe it does. Maybe life does continue to rain, like a torrential downpour all over you. But again, where's the choice? Where's the decision maker within you that says, you know what? I don't have to see this the way I'm seeing it. There's always another way. There's always another choice to be made. Detaching from the mind is really helpful because instead of thinking you're your thought system and your beliefs, when you step into that vast field of awareness with the observer that I talk about frequently, when you step out and watch the mind is when you start realizing that that is not what you are. That you do have an ability to watch your thinking, how quickly you attach to your belief system, and how quickly you fall victim to it. But when you stay in that field outside of it and you watch with non-judgment, no judgment whatsoever, just watch what you're doing, you can begin to see how silly the mind really is and how predictable the mind is. It only has so many plays in its playbook, right? It's called react immediately, project outward, defense mechanisms come up, right? I feel threatened in some way, so I'm going to attack. That's usually what happens with us. That's the psyche. Feel threatened, attack. Or you go the other way, right? And you retreat into the tortoise and you don't speak, but you're still threatened. It's just a different way of dealing with it. So the mind can be tough, but it can also be comical. And it just depends on where you are with it. Referring to live like Eden would be that you'd want to step into your spiritual mind, the mind that's representing compassion and love and truth and home in God, and that all of us are on the same path home. So we always have a decision to make. Are we going to live like death or live like Eden? you know? The next pillar is the environment that we live in. It's the space that we live in. And this means your home, everywhere you go in the world. It's everywhere. It's our playground. It's really this world, the environment that we're living in. And we have the ability to play in this world in many different ways. But you have the ability to create whatever environment you want, especially in your own home. And this goes on the physical level in terms of creating a functional space that works for you and your family or whomever you live with. And it's also how energy moves through the environment. One of my favorite things to do is redo a house or renovate a home or clean out a house, rework a space, and create beauty. I love seeing old spaces that seem to have lost their energy, right? They're just sort of hanging on for dear life. A lot of things have happened in there. Maybe it hasn't been moved in a long time, and it's lacking vitality, right? When you think of vitality of the body, let's talk about the vitality of your environment or your home. You can create a lively space so that vitality and the feeling of energy is moving freely in your space. When energy gets stuck, it's very heavy, is it not? As I'm speaking right now, think of a time where you were in an environment. Maybe it was your own home, a relative's home, a friend, or you were in a public space and you walked into that space and immediately you did not like it. Something was pulling you down. It was very, very heavy. And what happens to you when you feel this way? You want to get the hell out of there. Right? And it's constricting and you can't even focus on what's happening because you're taking on the energy of the space that you're in. Now, contrast that to a space that you've walked into. Maybe you were in a friend's home. Maybe you were in your own home. Maybe you walked into a new store and you walk in and you feel amazing and you love everything about this space. It's making you feel alive. And the feeling of your space can make or break your day, especially if you let it. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't know how to shift your own personal energy when you're in an environment like that, it's drowning. There were moments early on in my transformation where energy would get so heavy and I would just fold, man. I just wanted to get out of there. I felt horrible and it would kind of affect me the rest of the day. Until eventually over time, I realized that, oh, I don't have to take on the space that I'm in when I leave my home. I can choose to let that just move through me and not take it on. That is another level of living in your environment. As we're talking about this physical environment, things you can do physically to uplift your space, clean out the trash, clean out the clutter, get rid of things you don't like or don't need anymore, and let the space breathe on its own. The energy can move in and out like the waves of the ocean. When it starts to get jam-packed full of stuff, piles of papers, dirty dishes piling up, nobody's cleaned the countertops in a while, little knickknacks are just laying on the counter. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, oh, you want to clean it up and uplift the space and make it feel better. So that's the physical level of your environment, actually creating in the world. And we do this on a much greater scale too. I'm just speaking about it personally right now. Because if you're talking about living like Eden, it's personal. It's difficult to tell the entire planet to do this at once, right? We got to start somewhere, start with ourselves. Imagine if everybody did this, we'd have a beautiful, serene, peaceful world. I'm not holding my breath. But we can always make change from within. So there's the physical level of clearing energy. There's the physical level of making your space feel good. And then there's the energetic level that you carry with you. Imagine for a minute that you're in your own auric energy field, and it's extending several feet in all directions around you. And in this field, you can either keep it cluttered or you can keep it clear. And I mean, you can either hold on to things in your mind, like you've got a bunch of packed bags, just luggage that you're holding on to, memories of the past, you're mad about something, you hold grudges against other people. I'm talking about energetic attachments that are collecting in your field, in your environment, that you're carrying with you everywhere you go. So for those of you that are kind of sensitive out there, and I don't mean like, oh, I'm going to cry all the time. I mean that you pick up energy. You feel things very deeply. So imagine for a moment, as we all have these big bubbles of energy around us, and if we don't all clean out our personal energetic environment and our space is cluttered, and we then go into, let's say, I'm going to the airport on Friday. Let's say we start going into the airport, and there's thousands of people, right? Denver International Airport is a freaking zoo. And I'm always picturing everyone in their little bubbles carrying all their attachments in their energetic field. And then if you're sensitive, you start feeling this coming through because it's a world of difference out there when nobody's in the airport. It's a completely different experience. So think about that for a moment. If you could just sit and clear away all of the garbage out of your energy field. You just take a moment to go within and you hand it over to spirit, which is the fourth pillar, but it's the most important pillar. Spirit, help me dissolve my attachments. Spirit, help me see clearly because I'm holding on to these things and they're dragging me down and they're draining on my life and I'm exhausted. So to clear your own energy, you can breathe in 4 to 6 counts and hold it briefly at the top, and you exhale the same count or a little longer if you can and hold. That's a very easy way to just relax and let go. And in your mind, you're saying, Spirit, I'm handing this over to you because I no longer need it. I think of it as like a filtration system. So for many years, I would have a lot of energy come into my system and I would feel like it would get blocked. And in this very strange way, I used to feel it like, I feel like I'm a filtration system. Like things are coming in and then they're leaving, like I'm a vacuum. You could think of it like that. Energy's coming in and maybe it's coming in not so hot, right? It's coming in hot. It's negative. It's yuck. It doesn't have to still be that way. If everything can change in this world, if energy is always transforming, you can never get rid of it, then why can't we be the catalyst for that shift of energy that we feel? Why is that not an option? Personally, I found it was. I found that I could just sit, you breathe in, do whatever breathing works for you. Sometimes 2 quick inhales, like all the way up, hold, and then a big, long exhale, like you do, especially if you're in a situation where you're really kind of antsy. If you do 2 long, quick inhales back to back, hold, and then exhale as long as you can and repeat the cycle over and over until you start feeling lighter. You know, the breath is the essence of life. The breath is what's fueling the body. Without the breath, we die immediately, right? So learning how to get more of it into your life is really helpful. So the environment we're in is huge. You could consider this the world. This is what we're collectively living in right now. And it's important if you want to live in a joyful way, if you're looking for deeper purpose and connection and living a happy life while you're here, then living like Eden is an option, right? The last pillar or foundational principle of this whole concept of live like Eden is spirit. Now, I saved the best for last, and I probably should have said it first, but I think that spirit is the guide. Spirit should be the first thing that we're looking toward all the time. We could spend our entire life trying to perfect the body, control the mind, control everything in the world, and have no connection to the greater essence of who we really are. You can do all that, and my guess is we all have been doing that for lifetimes because we're still doing it. So the question becomes, do we need to do a role reversal here? That spirit is the foundation, and then comes the rest of it in any particular order you wish. But spirit is the guide. Spirit is the Eden or the symbol of home, just residing in our minds, awaiting our return. It's our return to Eden, our return to what's real and true. And if we all really are part of something greater than this world, if it's true that there's a beautiful, perfect home that none of us could comprehend while we're here, then wouldn't there be a reminder of it somewhere so we could get it? You know, wouldn't there be like a little tiny wake-up call sitting in us for us to remember? It's not like it went missing. We've just covered it up with distraction after distraction after projection, everything out into the world constantly, over and over and over. That little flicker of light that's sitting in all of us isn't burned out. It's just hiding. And when you remember it again, or you feel it, it starts to change your entire life. And it'll change everything about your life. It'll change how you feel your body. It'll change your relationship to your own mind. It'll change how you live in the world around you, how you treat the environment that you live in, how you create and move energy in your space, how you extend that energy to other people. So the spirit within is not necessarily our own special spirit. I'm talking about the greater essence, the messenger of God, the Holy Spirit, the Big Daddy. That's what I'm talking about. The same essence that each one of us has access to, if we so choose. And live like Eden is simply a reminder for all of us that it's possible. That waking up from this hallucination is possible. That seeing it in a different way is possible. Living it in a different way, even when the world continues to do the same old thing over and over and over. You start losing your faith in the world and you put your faith in spirit. You put your faith in something greater to guide you the whole time, something wiser than the chatter between our ears. So I hope that makes sense. I really wanted to do a show. I haven't done this in a long time of just what it means. What does Eden mean? And ask yourself, what does it mean to you? It doesn't have to be these 4 things. But I thought they were the 4 simplest things to talk about because there's a lot of other subcategories in those. And then you can go from there. So just a quick recap. The 4 foundational principles of living like Eden are the body, the mind, the environment and space we live in, and last but not least, spirit. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. I invite you to reach out to me with any questions, any comments, or topics you'd like to see on the show. I also ask that you share it with your friends or drop an honest review on Apple. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next week. That's it for today's show. Thanks so much for listening. If it resonated, please share, follow, and drop a review with your takeaways. It really means a lot. Visit my website at livelikeeden.com to subscribe for weekly reminders and blogs, or sign up for a free 30-minute consult to explore one-on-one guidance sessions if you're really struggling in Awakening's darkness. Take my Awakening quiz to get a personal podcast playlist that meets you exactly where you're at. See you next week for another deep dive.
I'm Rachel Corpus, an angel communicator, psychic medium, and host of the Angel Talk podcast. This show is meant to help you remember who you are, a limitless being with shoes and socks on. And along the way, we'll connect to people on the other side and experts in the field like authors, healers, animal communicators, and more. Listen to all my shows at Mind, Body, Spirit FM or wherever you get your podcasts.
Podcast advertising works. You're listening now, aren't you? Do you have a product or service you'd like to promote to our mindbodyspirit.fm audiences? Maybe a book or an online course or a retreat. Our audiences travel, read, cook, take supplements, meditate, and focus on their health and wellness. We record the spots and make it easy for you to reach our audiences quickly. Email us at info@mindbodyspirit.fm and let's get started.